Hi, Embracing Only podcast family. This is Archita. We are introducing impact moments, actionable insights that highlight the best and powerful learning moments and wisdom from our past episodes of incredible guests. In this highlight reel, you'll hear leadership lessons from a combat veteran, taking action to be anti-racist, mastering workplace negotiations, leveraging your uniqueness for success. We'll take a topic and break it down in a short, snappy episode. So click on the link in the show notes to continue listening to these impact moments with our amazing guests.
So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about you personally for a second here. So it seems like Evermore was founded in 2014, and here we are in 2022, and you've had some successes, but I imagine you also had some obstacles, right? And so you had this terrible event happen to you. You took that pain, and while you were still in your grief, trying to be the change in the world that you wanted to see, just feet on the street, talking to families, getting perspectives, that it sounds like that fueled your passion to turn this into something that you could actually bring to life. So in that process between 2014 and 2022, can you talk to us a little bit about maybe the obstacles that you had to overcome and how you grew as a person in trying to figure out how to execute your vision?
Yeah, it's almost laughable. Usually I say, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Being an introvert, I love to just curl up with my book. It's been an incredibly challenging process. I'll tell you, when I started this, it might look from the outside that yes, that I started this and taking pain and turning it into purpose, but that really wasn't it at all. I was really seeking solidarity. And talking to people and trying to understand their experiences so that I didn't feel so isolated and frankly so angry about the things that had taken place with my own family. And the more and more people that I talked to, the more and more I began to realize, again, like this is a much bigger problem. And it wasn't just me, but really going and being vulnerable and going into places, organizations, or communities where I am notably different, like just visually, I didn't fit in. That was really scary, and just being brave to go into the unknown. Doing this type of work and starting this type of change, there are problems everywhere. And a lot of people spend a lot of time telling you about all the problems and about all the ways you're not going to succeed. And it is an overture that I heard so much frankly, for probably about the first 7 to 8 years. But over time, I would have a problem that I didn't quite know how to solve. And I'd make one step forward to try to figure out that one little problem. And then I did an okay job. And my motto is, I can't be perfect, but just to be defensible. Building my website, defensible, doesn't have to be perfect. Building the board, defensible, doesn't have to be perfect. The issue briefs, the talking to lawmakers, talking to the media, like all of those things, just be defensible, Joyal. You cannot be perfect. And that has helped me more level set my expectations. They have that interview question, tell us about your 3 weaknesses or whatever. I could go on for hours about weaknesses. I have good stories about what I cannot do well, because when you're out front and you're that only person in the lead, and everyone's telling you what's wrong and you're totally agreeing with them, there's a lot there. There's a lot there that you can share with people, because we're not perfect, but there are some things that I can do well. And I try to hold on to that, because there are a lot of days where it's really hard to be out in front. And you do, or I do feel like I'm failing and I'm not working fast enough and I'm not doing something well enough. And then frankly, I receive a message from someone who tells me what this work has meant to them. And it's just enough to carry through maybe 2 more days. And I don't have a particular I'm destined to be successful. In fact, I spend most of my days feeling like I'm failing. And so I don't have any specific advice other than to be defensible and try to carry on, and that these experiences, whether good or bad, are often temporary. And if we can just make it through the temporary period, there will be something on the other side that's more steady and stable.
I just love that. And I think it's so funny because your face lit up when you were like, oh my God, all the things that maybe have not gone well. But then you went back to kind of your normal, like, composed self when you're like, but I can do these things well. And human behavior is fascinating to me, by the way. I'm an avid people watcher. And it's so funny for a woman that is as incredible as you are. And I know as an introvert, you're probably going to get hives with the compliments right now, but just take them. But for someone as accomplished as you are, it's fascinating to me that you're like, oh my God, all these things that I can't do. But there's a litany of things, Joyal, that you do well. And I think it's important for me to recap this for the audience, but you did drop some gems on. I think the first thing that you told us was to be brave. Find the bravery. And if you haven't found it yet, go put yourself in situations that's going to force you to find it so you get comfortable calling on it when you need to. Then the be defensible, I wrote that one down myself because particularly women as phenomenal as you are, suffer from this perfection. We've heard all about it, right? So many stories about perfectionism and how we all fall prey to it, but you seem to found through your life experiences that being defensible is way more productive than aiming for perfection. And then the last bit, the third piece that you gave us here, whether you realize it or not, is just make it one more day. Like, every day is not going to be pretty. It's not going to be all these motivational memes and trophies, and the work is hard. And sometimes you're not going to feel like it's going anywhere, but you just got to make it another day. So just keep going. So if I had to sum up lessons from Joyal, that's what I took away from this conversation. And I think it's so powerful because there's so many women out there in pursuit of life-changing, impactful initiatives, and we all just have to keep going. You just have to. So I think that's absolutely wonderful. So we're coming up on time here. So I want to leave you with the last word. Is there any last information you want to share with our listeners, or any last words of wisdom?
If there's anything I could say, even though I haven't had the good fortune of knowing each listener's individual story, it would be that I believe in you. Sometimes we just need someone to believe in what we're doing, because being at the top and being a leader can be really isolating and very lonely. And just to find other people who believe in you, or people who can cheerlead, and people who frankly can problem solve. You don't be wary of problem finders. There are a lot of problems we all face, but surrounding yourself with people who can cheer you on, help you solve those problems, and really truly believe in you, that's what I would leave people with.